Well, summer should be a break for the kids, but it can also be full of new experiences, from summer camps to making new friends or just adjusting to a different schedule. One coping tool is self-esteem. The Mayo Clinic reports that high self-esteem makes it less likely for kids to experience feelings like worthlessness, guilt, and shame, and it also helps with stress and reduces the chance for developing eating disorders. Lots of interesting things to talk about with this. Joining us this morning with some tips to help kids achieve and maintain good self-esteem is Lauren Neitz from the Washburn Center for Children. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We don't immediately think of high self-esteem and summer vacation going together.
Right.
But as you were explaining, it does make sense because now kids are out of school. A lot of kids going to different camps, different ways to spend their summer. Maybe it's a daycare, maybe it's going to grandma and grandpa's house in a new neighborhood for the week, and they're meeting new kids and new people and a whole new schedule.
And new experiences.
New experiences. This can really take a toll on their self-esteem.
It can, because of just the adjustment. They were in the groove for the school year, they had their routines, and then now even these really fun new adventures can be challenging and can cause a little bit of disruption. And when parents are in tune to how sensitive their children are to a change in routine, we can provide some support so that they can be confident to walk into those new things.
And we know kids love the familiar, they love the routine, but when that's sort of thrown out the window during the summertime, how do you know when it's just adjusting to a new schedule or it's something to be concerned about, like low self-esteem?
Right. So some things at Washburn Center, we work with a lot of children who are struggling with things like depression, anxiety, loss, or even trauma. And so we try to help build kids up, build up their self-esteem quite a bit. Things that parents can look for are if your child avoids a new experience without even trying anything, if they look like they're losing confidence in something they used to have a lot of interest in, if they become overly controlling and try and control the outcome, that might be a sign of low self-esteem. Those are some things to look for.
So those are some things to look for. What can parents do to help with that?
There's a few things parents can do to help their kids who are struggling with self-esteem, and things to be aware of. One thing is to know that our voices as parents become the voices in the children's heads. So for example, if a child has some kind of big mistake or a failure, we could come at it harshly and say, "You did it again, you messed up, what's wrong with you?" And that voice becomes the voice in the kid's head. Or we could approach it a little bit more compassionately and say something like, "This isn't the outcome that you wanted. Something happened that wasn't the greatest. How can I help you? How can I help you get through this? How can I help you fix it so it doesn't happen again?" And that's the voice we kind of want in their head more. We also, as parents, can help promote grit, that perseverance, that ability to stick with it. And when we praise kids' effort, even if the outcome isn't perfect, if we can praise kids' effort, then that tells them that they can keep going through something that's hard and come out the other end. And the last thing that we can do is really ask and be interested in their interests and really see what's meaningful to kids.
And even some of the terminology, you say self-compassion. Talk a little bit about that.
So self-esteem is, when I explain it to kids, I talk about self-esteem as the inside stuff that they can call upon, that they can, those strengths that they can think about when they're going through a challenge. And self-compassion kind of picks up where self-esteem leaves off, where it's a kinder way of talking to yourself. So when kids are really struggling and really have a blow to self-esteem like depression or loss, I'll encourage them to talk to themselves like they would a good friend going through a hard time. Because something that's true of kids, even adults too, is that we're nicer to others than we are ourselves. And so if we pretend to talk to ourselves like we would a good friend, that often can shift us a little bit.
Well, you hand out brochures and things like this, and I'm sure more information on your website at the Washburn Center for Children.
Exactly.
All right, Lauren, thank you so much. We appreciate your time this morning. Good advice.
Thank you.